A 5-day diagnostic workshop on helminths and co-infections has been opened in the country. The workshop, which was held at the Noguchi Memorial Institute for Medical Research at Legon, aims at developing systems of control as well as building the capacity of participating institutions to conduct research on helminths and related co-infections.
Helminths are parasitic worms that cause a wide variety of infectious diseases, some of which include intestinal parasitic worms such as roundworms, hookworms, among several others. Infected people excrete helminth eggs in their feces, which then contaminates the soil in areas with inadequate sanitation. Other people can be infected by ingesting eggs or larvae in contaminated food, or through penetration of the skin by infected larvae in the soil. This, the Deputy Director of Noguchi explains, can be devastating to the health communities. Hence, the need for the workshop to build the research capacity of participating institutions to develop effective diagnosis and treatment plan.
What we have found as scientists is that these diseases, these worms, they usually don't cause disease that is very quickly killing people or making them lie in bed. But these worms, they have they cause the disease, and the effects are slow. So the morbidity is slow and it is present in the population. And then we find that when these worms are infecting people and other diseases are also infecting them, then the interactions bring about other conditions. So the RELAX network is interested in conducting research not just into worms, but into worms and co-infections.
He adds, the workshop also seeks to develop and strengthen the capacity of young scientists, as well as enhance research ethics among participating countries.
We are coming together as scientists from these countries to build capacity, both human resource capacity like training young scientists, and then at the same time also building capacity in terms of strengthening the ability of the institutions to conduct research. What we are trying to do is, we are looking at, in research there is research ethics, there is good laboratory practice, there are standard operating procedures. You know, there are things that you must meet a certain kind of standard before you can conduct research that is even internationally accepted. And so we share this experience to be able to diagnose helminth infections and the other co-infections in an accurate way, to accurate diagnosis. Because when you are able to identify the diseases with confidence, then the next step is, what do you do about the disease? So also developing systems and tools for control.
The 5-day workshop involves 4 African countries, namely Mali, Gabon, Benin, Ghana, and France as an international partner. Matilda Pamaga for Joy News, Accra.
Now, 3 people have been so far killed as a result of speed ramp constructed around the Laura Dikpe Road in the Upper West region.
About 3 weeks ago, we observed that some speed ramps were being put up. We observed also that these speed ramps were very high. Although the motive for some of these speed ramps are very good, to check speed limits with regards to pedestrians and then riders all over. But these speed ramps they've constructed are causing a big challenge to us with regards to responding to emergencies. The way and manner in which these speed ramps have been constructed, very high, the fire engine is unable to climb these high speed ramps. Unfortunately, some days after, somebody lost his life on one of these speed ramps. A week ago, we had a fire call. We couldn't get to the scene with the fire engine because of these speed ramps. They are very high, so the fire engine is unable to climb it. When it tries to climb, we realize that because of how low the tank is, it's lying low. You hear the scratching sound. We also don't want to put our fire engine at that risk. As you can see, our fire engine has been made to respond to emergencies. Yes, these speed ramps are to check speed limits. But now our particular concern is how it's going to affect our fire engine if we should attempt to pass over these speed ramps. So we're hoping that something can be done about it. They are just too high for us. They are too high for us. Besides that, they are posing as dangers to even the pedestrians that these speed ramps are supposed to actually protect. Last week there was a fire on the Yikben Road. The appliance could not climb over these speed ramps they had constructed. So firemen had to use motorbikes, carry tools from the appliance to the fire scene. Fortunately for us, there was a hydrant, so we were able to use the hydrant to quench this particular fire. But should there be a different incident whereby the hydrant is not close by, you realize that it will really be a big problem for us. It will really be a big problem for us. Even with the incident where the man actually died, we got somewhere we had to park the fire engine and now walk and go and help out that person. The ambulances and then the fire tenders are unable to go to certain parts.
Right, so Rafiq Salam has joined us over the telephone from the Upper West region. Rafiq, tell us exactly where this ramp is on the road.
The ramp is located at Midday in the Lora district of the Upper West region. It's located between Midday and Yike, which leads to the Black Water, and that's where this ramp is currently located. The contractor involved is PW Ghanem, and then he has been awarded a contract by Federal Road Department to construct these speed ramps along that particular road.
Do we know why it was necessary a ramp be constructed on that stretch of the road?
It's a highway, and then the problem, the challenges involved regarding this particular issue has been that people have only been complaining that they have been losing their lives and then also losing their animals through overspeeding of vehicles. And so they appeal to the authorities for speed ramps to be constructed in those areas. But when those speed ramps were constructed, but for them, I think that they are a little bit too high for them.
How different are they from other speed ramps?
I am in Wa, and looking at the speed ramps that are in Wa, I think that the Wa one seems to be better, but the one constructed at Laura or Declare area is a little bit too high. It's very high. And even cars cannot even climb or scale over these speed ramps that have been constructed at PW Ghanem Limited.
So what are some of the complaints road users like drivers are making about the speed ramp?
Talking about these speed ramps, some community members have been complaining, like I told you, that about their animals being lost, and also they themselves even losing their lives. And so because of that, in some cases, when they appeal to the authorities and the authorities fail to heed to their appeal, they go and construct their own speed ramps. They don't have the technical know-how. They only use stakes and also, in some cases, use firewood, to block the road. And so authorities found it necessary at least to construct these speed ramps for them. And so when they do it, it's not uniform.
Has the contractor considered removing this block on the road?
I have not spoken to the contractor on the particular issue. We have only spoken to community members, especially the assemblyman and then the fire officer, and they told me about their frustrations, and that's just you just heard.
So now that they have been complaining to the appropriate authorities, nothing has been done. Do they intend to take matters into their own hands?
No, they have no intention for now. They are only appealing to the authorities to do that for them, and if that's the community members, some community members told me that they intend at least to break that speed ramp that has been constructed.
Thank you very much, Rafiq. Rafiq Salam joined us from the Upper West region. Now, two road construction associations are advocating for an increase in the road fund levy to enable government to mobilize funding to complete and undertake major rehabilitation works on the country's roads. The allocation to the fund, according to the association, has remained the same since 2005, a situation they believe has led to the deteriorating nature of several of the country's roads and the delays by government to pay monies owed them.
Construction works of many major roads in Ghana, including the Achimota of Fankor Sawum Suhum, Tetekwashi Adenta, and Kumasi Sunyane have stalled for several months now. The situation has resulted in a blame game between the road contractors and government. But the Association of Road Contractors Ghana and the Progressive Road Contractors Association say they are not to be blamed for the delays and have squarely laid blame on government.
For every work that a contractor does, it goes through a certification process before he's finally paid. Right from the district level, there's a district engineer there, then it comes to the regional level, there's a regional engineer there. They would all have to approve. Sometimes even they have to test the quality of the work before they approve, and then you send it to Accra for payment. So it is never true. The only payment that is in most cases done before a contractor starts work is mobilization money, and even that one these days, mobilization takes over 1 year.
They were also not happy with the Attorney General's decision to stop granting them letters of guarantees, which previously had enabled them to access loans and undertake road construction projects whilst waiting for government to pay monies owed them.
The banks will require a letter of joint payment. That means what it means is that they're requesting the employer who is awarding the contract, that they are asking him to make all the payments under that specific project in the joint name of the bank, that is that financial institution, and then the contractor. This is a form of security, securing the facility. But just last year, what has happened is that the ministry has withdrawn, on the instructions of the Attorney General, has withdrawn those services from the contractors.
It's affecting the whole sector, because from the beginning of the award process up till the time that the project is completed, we would always need financial assistance or support from the banks, one form or the other. And these are the guarantees that they ask for, so that they can also be comfortable giving us the money. But then if you are not giving them those guarantees, then there's no way they will also issue out or approve of any facility for you to enable you to go and work.
They are calling on the Ministry of Finance to speed up actions for the increment in road fund levy.
Our ministry has sent a memo to the Ministry of Finance for the increase. They have to just consent to it and send it to Cabinet for discussion, and it's been on its table for the past few months. In fact, somewhere last year, that thing was sent. Meanwhile, the government keeps on accumulating bills for our sector. Road maintenance works are delaying because payment is not being done. And as we speak, government is owing us 184 million Ghana cedis as at end of March.
The group thus wants government to implement gradual but steady increment of the road fund to enable government raise funding to pay off the debt it owes contractors whilst rehabilitating the country's roads. The road sector is responsible for the transportation of 98% of humans and goods in the country, and as such, these groups are calling on government to pay attention to the sector.
We'll spend some more time on construction, and this time the Construction and Building Material Workers Union of Ghana is appealing to the government to pay contractors on time so they can also pay their workers. According to the association, they are, as a result of the delay, forced to send many of their workers home. From 2013, over 10,000 building and road construction workers have been sent home due to the failure of government to pay contractors in time for jobs executed.
They have not committed any crime. The only reason is that their employers are not being paid, and therefore they cannot keep them. The local contractors are unable to attract and retain key workers, stifling the growth of their companies and their capacity to generate employment. This soaring unemployment has economic as well as social negative consequences for the country.
The road contractors say this forces them to resort to the application of indecent work practices and have very little value for the work they do.
When contractors are not paid on time, they tend to apply indecent work practices, including lowering labor standards, employing casual labor, disrespecting human and trade union rights, and then engaging in unfair labor practices.
They are therefore pleading with the authorities to take a look at their plight and draft favorable resolutions to it.
As the country aspires to middle income status, government should also aspire to improve the living and working conditions of workmen comparable to the standards of countries in that status. We shouldn't be aspiring to get to middle income and then using slavery and poor working conditions to support it. Even the Chinese have stopped. We believe that social development should be holistic and not only measured by economic indicators.
Kausa Swaller's report for Joy News.
So the spiritual leader of the Al-Tijaniya Muslim Council of Ghana, Sheikh Khalifa Ahmed Abu Faidi Maikano, has called on the international community to urgently intervene in the instability in South Sudan and the killing of Muslims in the Central African Republic. Sheikh Maikano spoke to Joy News' Nesta Kafuya Joma at the sidelines of the 51st National Quranic recitation by the Council Aprang in the Pru district of the Bunohafo region. We'll bring you the story later. Thank you very much for staying on News Today. Time now for some business stories, and financial analyst Sidney Hayford is asking government to do more to enable the country regain its position as the leading cocoa producer in Africa. Speaking on AM Talk this morning, Sidney could not fathom the penchant of policymakers not to use all sectors of the economy to fast-track development.
We need to grow it to a point where we catch up with Ivory Coast. Ivory Coast does about 1.3 million metric tons. We were leaders, and so we are struggling to actually get up to 1.3 million metric tons, but we need to push it to get to that point. We need to encourage it so that we can do more, because cocoa is a stable a product for us. But now we need to encourage the whole arena of non-traditional exports, and that alone is going to be able to significantly help us. To do value addition, you need a processing line to be able to produce enough and put it on our shelves and export some of it. You need to package it properly, make it look attractive so people will buy it. Simple question I'll ask you: if somebody decides to go into something like agushi seeds, all right, in a very heavy way, right now we package agushi in plastic bags and we sell it predominantly in the marketplace. You can either get it, processed, or you can get it with the raw seeds. Now, if you want to take that and elevate it to a point where you put it on a shelf, you need to package it properly, put it in a box, mark it clearly with the labels, and make sure everything is clear. To do that, you need that processing line. To do that processing line, you need to bring the equipment in, because we don't manufacture the equipment here, and then you need to get workers trained to be able to process if you semi-automate or you automate.
The insurance companies are impressing on government for the need for their services to be completely excluded from the VAT on financial services. Now, the Financial Ministry and the Ghana Revenue Authority, after meeting with commercial banks, have also engaged the insurers over the implementation of the tax. It has been agreed the 17.5% tax set to take effect in June would begin with some banking services before extending to other insurance services. But the Ghana Insurance Association say it would be prudent for their services to be completely exempted from the tax. A special committee is working to establish the financial services to be affected by the tax. Governor of the Bank of Ghana, Henry Kofi Wampa, has predicted the city and the economy will stabilize in the second half of the year when proceeds from Cocoa Board's 2014-2015 dollar syndicated loan for cocoa purchases are received by the central bank. This year, loan deal, which is estimated to be $1.8 billion, and the highest Cocoa Board has raised in 2 crop seasons will be used to purchase beans during the 2014-2015 cocoa harvest. The Ghana cedis has fallen rapidly in the first 4 months of the year as the Ghana's current account deficit wasn't unsustainable levels, while the fiscal deficit remained at 11% of GDP. The Bank of Ghana's next monetary policy meeting is likely to take place in June. Outgone Commissioner of the Customs Division of the GRA, the Ghana Revenue Authority, Isaac Ofoya-Pronte, says revenue collection has improved from an average daily collection of 16 million cedis in 2013 to 25 million cedis as of March this year. Addressing officials at a farewell parade in his honor, he also indicated that customs revenue contribution to total tax revenue improved from 40% in 2012 to 41% in 2013.
After 28 years of service to Ghana, the Customs Division of the GRA, the management and staff of the GRA ushered a farewell parade in honor of Isaac Ofoya-Pronte, the Commissioner of the Division. The parade also saw the honoring of the Commissioner of Support Service Division of the GRA, Anthony Mingla, going on retirement as well as other retiring Deputy Commissioners. Outgoing Commissioner of Customs Isaac Ofoya-Pronte, while appreciative of the support received from his subordinates, maintained that revenue contributions from customs had improved over the period.
Revenue collection has improved from an average daily collection of 16 million cedis in May 2013 to an average of 25 million cedis a day at the end of March 2014. Effective duty rate, which is a measure of efficiency with which taxes are collected, has improved over the projected annual average of 6.6% to 7.32% at the end of December 2013. This resulted in customs revenue contribution to total tax revenue improving from 40% in 2012 to 41% in 2013.
He also called on the incoming commissioner to improve on the systems introduced to make the Customs Division efficient,
to enhance performance, and also to monitor operational processes to ensure conformance to laid down procedures. For instance, completing one cycle for the traditional audit of customs regimes, especially in bonded warehousing, to ensure compliance to procedures for protecting revenue, was found to take too long a time. An ad hoc monitoring team, therefore, was set up to temporarily plow through all bonded warehouses to recover revenues short collected. This exercise has led to the recovery of revenue amounting to 306 million cedis between June 2013 and March 2014. A policy workshop on free zones and bonded warehousing scheduled for the last week of April to devise policies to address the weaknesses in the two regimes, including modalities for monitoring inbound manufacturing, did not take place because of the changes. I propose that this all-important policy workshop takes place soon, and I urge the incoming commissioner to see to this.
The new commissioner of the division, Wallace Akondo, also called for support in discharging his duties and pledged his loyalty and commitment to the GRA.
President John